Well, hello, folks. I've never had visitors to my YouTube channel before, and I spent the day today looking at things. If you aren't up with the news, they introduced a bill in the House of Representatives to require mandates for air travel, require vaccines for air travel, and the Pfizer treatment was FDA approved today, and among other various things. But I feel those were the most two biggest stories. Who knows what'll happen with that going into the House, though. Americans can act in unexpected ways or totally expected ways. You never know. Pardon me. Anyway, I just, it's dark, it's late. I was on the phone with a friend in Colorado most of the day, too, talking about theological concepts and cultural things. He has a very unique experience. He had a mob rallied against him. And he called me a few weeks ago and he said, I just had this experience, dude. You got to see this. You got to hear about this. They used rumor to create enmity and formed a literal mob and chased me out. And so, we talk about the I don't want to say this word, but like the psyop aspect of what's going on and how there are people within these in groups of protesters and things who are able to understand and grasp the concept of moving and manipulating crowds and how to work it to their end. Which reminds me of the other news from yesterday, which I don't want to get into right now because it's so inflammatory and sparks so much violence, even in online discourse. It's disheartening. But yeah, so that was my day. I was asked what Orwell books were influential to me in a comment in the last video. And I replied saying, I'm no expert in Orwell at all. And I've read a few essays in Homage to Catalonia and whatever these things are, but I'm a fan of The Usual Suspects, Animal Farm in 1984. And it's not so much that I'm a fan that I love them, but it's more that they are pointing to the truths in our modern reality. The 2 Minutes Hate from 1984, the enforced by law moral reality for your very thought and your body and all these things. It's not to mention this device that looks at me all day. You know what I mean? But Animal Farm, I put even above that one. I know people would probably put it below just for the sake of the work, but I find it interesting. In Burns' video with me, I said the Democrat, people want pigs or horses, but I want to refine that concept a little more. I think what and this is only an opinion, and I would love to hear a difference of it. I think what the Democrats are really seeking nowadays are dogs, from the Orwell's Animal Farm conception of dogs, which is the enforcement of the leaders over the people. They are the ones who keep you in line and who harm you when you step out. And I believe that they're feeling that this is the solution to our modern society. And as far as the Republicans, I believe they're thinking that the horses will save us. That if we just have more horses, everything will be okay. But anybody who's read it understands that when they wrote on the wall all the rules, their essential Bill of Rights, and how that law changed over time to suit the needs of the pigs. And so I think that's a really powerful work, The Animal Farm. Simple, short book. I think it's really loud and clear to what we're going on with our constitutional law and our systems in our government. I'm not a brilliant man. I just understand things the best way I can. But I see things like the Senate operating, and when I was watching very closely when they were passing this infrastructure bill through, or trying to, I don't really get caught up on so much yes or no with bills. I get caught up on the terminology used within the bills and things like that. But what really just gets my head spinning is that when our Senate creates rules, they have committees and they have ethics, boards, and they have rules for operations in the Senate and for how to pass bills and things. And then you see that they come up with this bill and they say, okay, we're going to vote on this. And they say, well, this part needs to be removed because of the budget committee's rule. And so the person steps up and says, well, I want to vote to waive the rule. And then all the senators come down and they say, let's waive this rule. And they vote to waive it so it doesn't apply so they can get their bill through. And you see, I'm a firm believer in game theory and the more efficient and productive means of leading a society being that of example. And so when they do things like this, they apply the rule when they want to apply it to hinder a bill, and then they vote to waive the rule when they want to pass a bill. I'm sure there's functionary reasons for this that I don't understand, but what I see is a legislator passing legislation that we have to abide by, but they themselves, when they create a system of ethics, do not have to abide by their own ethics. They could vote to waive those ethics whenever it suits them. And this is just one of the cat walking by. This is just one of the many issues, that I think are considered in a more simplified manner among Animal Farm, and I would highly suggest it. I read 1984 and Animal Farm at least once a year because of the power of the applied message to societies of like ours and the dangers we face in societies like ours and how these things are cured or prevented from happening is through seeing them and understanding them, and how we've really failed our own country by letting go of any accountability to one another. My heart bleeds for everyone. I too get trapped up in this left versus right stuff way too often, but there's something going on much bigger, and I feel like laying down our perceptions of these politics to actually go after root causes of executive orders, bombarding everything, and of the judiciary, being ignored by the executive and the legislator ignoring, this or that. I mean, I think that we could, I just hope that we could pull together on these things and write our senators and say, do whatever bills you want right now because, you have bigger issues. And what I'd really like you to do is stop all of it and take an actual look at what we've done with constitutional law and how we've essentially eradicated the founding principle by which we are supposed to show kindness to one another and further this enlightenment, right? Like everybody always likes to talk about how things in the past weren't as great as they seem. Well, I'm sure that's true. But the whole point of this type of governmental enlightenment is to continue it forward and make it better every day. And I think we've had a heart of doing that, but in the meantime, we've let slip a lot of things, such as particular Patriot Act and other particulars like judicial decisions on elections and things like this, that, we should pull together as left and right on. I really feel like this enmity between the factions is more of a distraction to take away from the foundation of ethics. And I know I'm rambling and I'm not really saying anything smart or of substance. A college professor would tear me up in 10 seconds, but I went to college and, they like to tell you what to think and not how to think, and I'm just too defiant for that, I suppose. I'm making myself sound cooler than I am, but anyway, I'm practicing this video thing and just talking about stuff as it comes to my mind, because I've never had people actually visit my YouTube page before. I've just stashed me being a weirdo over the years in playing dumb music here. But I feel like since there's just a little bit of traffic right now, I'm going to just try to do this once a day if possible, get better at it, get more learned, hear more criticism, hopefully, that is not inflammatory or harmful, but is edifying. I always welcome that. And suggestions for topics and just things to ramble on. You know, I would love to talk on and on about health issues that are pervasive around the globe today and things like this, but it's a dangerous space. Let's put it that way. Maybe I'll give it a shot. I have some really interesting takes to say about this that I haven't really heard discussed anywhere in any of the factionism. But we also have the war issue that we've been in, several of them actually. And yeah, if you have any ideas for anything or any critiques, or you just want to tell me that you ugly, I welcome it, as long as it's not any type of call to action. I appreciate your freedoms and your personage, and I think it's how it should be. I think we should be taking this Americanism to a higher level in some way, shape, or form. And I'd love to hear your ideas on that. Thank you for watching. Bye.